Shir Chadash. Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shirul Adonai kol haaretz. Shirul Adonai shir chadash. Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shabbat Shalom. Shirul Adonai kol haaretz. Shirul Adonai shir chadash. I will sing unto God a new song. Shabbat Shalom. I'd like to begin this evening with a gentle meditation, so I invite you to please close your eyes, get comfortable, take a few deep breaths, inhaling and exhaling. And imagine that you are walking in the desert under a night sky, and you look up and see stars above you. As you stand beneath the countless stars shining all around you, you sense the presence of Abraham and Sarah and all the foremothers and forefathers and all the generations that followed them. You sense the light of Torah within you. You are filled with the light of Torah, and you feel the light of the souls of the generations glowing around you, embracing you, becoming one with the light of your soul. On this Erev Pesach, I imagine those who came before me, my ancestors, my family who are gone, assembling around the Seder table, preparing to say the same words that we will be singing and chanting and reading tomorrow evening. They are the stars above us and around us. They are those upon whose shoulders we stand. And I invite you to keep them close this Shabbat into the Pesach week, for they are the reason we are here this evening. I'd like to invite Jan and Sherry to light the Shabbos candles, and then a reading from Eileen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'chol shel Shabbat. Amen.
This is the season of freedom from the will of tyrants, of freedom from the bondage of self, to become a nation and a people. This is the season of release from captivity and oppression, of release from a foreign land, to receive God's holy word. This is a season of redemption, of redeeming our bodies and souls. of redeeming our strength and power in service to Am Israel. This is the season of freedom, of reliving the ancient journey, of remembering the treacherous path. This is the season that calls us to stand together, the season that summons us to God's law, the season that leads us home.
The opening prayers for the Shabbat service are called the Kabbalah Shabbat prayers, and they are psalms, beautiful psalms, to help us open our hearts and our minds to the notion of prayer. We often sing L'chadodi, but this evening I want to share with you a beautiful song called Erev Shel Shoshanim. If you'd like to follow along, it is on page 350 of your Siddur, but the words are, it is an evening of roses. Let us go out to the grove. Myrrh, spices, and incense are a carpet for you to tread. The night comes upon us slowly, and a breeze of roses is blowing. Let me whisper a song to you quietly, a song of love. Erev shel Shoshani, Netzena el habustan, mor v'samim ulevana, leraglech niftan, Laila yored leah, beruach Shoshan ushvan, avarach lashir balai, shemesh el ahava, Erev shel Shoshani, Netzena el habustan, mor v'samim ulevana, leraglech niftan. We prepare for the Baruch Hu, our call to worship. I invite you to rise. Our call to worship comes during the service. And that is because it takes us time to get into the right mindset, into the right place. But hopefully we are now here and we are ready to begin our more formal prayers. The Baruch Hu on page 28. Lai, 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 Baruch Hu et Adonai, HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, Le'olam Ahavat Olam, page 32, is a love song to God. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amecha Hafta, Amcha Hafta, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta, al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shach ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך, ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגה יומם ולילה, נגה יומם ולילה. We prepare for the Shema, feeling ourselves grounded and centered, perhaps inhaling and exhaling, feeling that Nishama Yetara, that extra soul that comes into us on Shabbat, feeling ourselves surrounded by the angels of Shalom Aleichem, and of course by those who have come before us. We take a deep breath to begin our prayer. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malechuto Leolam Vaed. Please be seated. We continue with the words of the Hafta. The Hafta Prayer is found on page 36. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavecha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha vehayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha vishinantam levanecha Vidibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha ukashartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha Uvisha'arecha leman tizkaru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim le'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti atchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Adonai Elohechem, amen. When we see the burning bush, do we see just that? A bush on fire but not consumed? Or do we see our world in the burning bush? The unjust sparking the fires of hatred, the wicked turning away from the poor, the liars casting away the stranger at their door. Yet our world is not consumed. Just like the burning bush before Moses, a voice echoes out of the flames. It is the voice of the crying orphan. It is the voice of the stranger unsheltered. It is the voice of the widow praying. In each voice, the cry of our people. In each voice, the voice of the divine. From the burning bush before us, the echo rings in our ears. We are not yet at peace. God hears our cries with the cries of all the world. God is calling out to us from this narrow place. Like Moses, let us answer our God. Let us strive to be a light among the nations. We continue Michamocha, page 40. This is an upbeat version because we imagine the telling of the Exodus story that each of us is standing at the sea. Standing at the sea, Mechamocha, standing at the sea, Mechamocha, standing at the sea, Mechamocha. Shkivenu, a prayer that reminds us that with darkness sometimes comes fear or anxiety, but we may be confident that with faith in God, we will wake up tomorrow morning. We will wake up refreshed and renewed and ready for another day. It is always our custom to sing a special song for Shabbat. So let us join together in Vishamru, found on page 44. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Bein uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti leolam, oti leolam. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi, Shavat vayinafash, Shavat vayinafash. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. We rise for the Amidah, the Tefillah, the central portion of our prayer service. We begin on page 48. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, Ve'zocher Chasdei Avot ve'imahot, Umevi Gula livnei v'neihem, Leman Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei metim atarav lechoshia. Mashiv haruach morid hagashem. Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayei metim berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofech olim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar, Michamocha bal gevurot, Umido melech, melech memit u'mechayeh, u'matzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah lahachayot metim, Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hametim. I invite you to take a few moments for silent prayer. And if nothing is coming into your mind, nothing that you want to pray about, then just listen. I am all around in every daydream. I am all you are and all you know. These are the words that God said to Jacob when Jacob woke up in the desert all alone, sleeping outdoors with his head on a rock, and he finally realized that God is with us everywhere. I am all around in every daydream. I am all you are and all you know. I am all around in every daydream. I am all you are and all you know. Take a few moments to think about those in our lives who are in need of healing, physical, spiritual, emotional. As always, I invite you to say those names out loud, to hear the sound of those names being spoken. In God's hand, I place my soul when I sleep and when I awake. And with my soul, my body too, God is with me. I shall not fear. Biado of Kiruchi, Bieti Shan Be'aira, Be'imruchi Gabiati, Adonai li, Eloira, Eloira. On the morning before Passover, many synagogues display what look like small bonfires burning in their driveways. This is the ritual known as biur chametz, the burning of leavened products. Traditionally, this is the last step in a multi-stage process of ridding one's house of all leavened products that begins days, if not weeks, prior to Passover. The process often begins with a thorough Passover house cleaning and the quarantining of any chametz that will not be removed to a specific location. I put mine in the freezer, but many Jews have the custom of metaphorically or actually selling any chametz they do not discard to a non-Jew for the duration of the holiday. Finally, a last search for anything that was missed is performed the night before the holiday, a ritual known as Bedikat Chometz, checking for Chometz. The following morning, any Chometz that was turned up during the search is burned. Many Jews have the custom of planting a few last pieces of bread around the house, so there will be something to discover and burn the following morning. Jewish law mandates a specific time by which the burning must be complete. Synagogues often light fires that their congregants can use to do the burning, but some people do it themselves. Once the burning is complete, it is customary to make the following declaration. May all chometz or leaven that is in my possession, whether I have seen it or not, whether I have removed it or not, be annulled and deemed like the dust of the earth. I did not grow up with the tradition of chometz. While we had matzah in the house through the week of Passover, and I remember being embarrassed bringing it to school for lunch at my almost completely Gentile elementary school, I think the matzah was optional at home, and we were also able to keep eating bread. I also grew up eating bacon, though. My father claimed he followed kosher rules, so go figure. We all know that customs vary widely among us. So I have been on a chometz sort of discarding spree the last 2 weeks. Whenever Brian isn't looking, stuff finds its way into my trunk and eventually to a thrift shop. I guess this is how I practice chometz ridding in my home. I do feel cleansed and lighter when the schmutz is gone. And by schmutz, I mean stuff that we either do not use or do not love. Stuff that we keep because we're in the habit of cluttering our house and our lives with it, but which serves no aesthetic or useful purpose. When the Israelites were fleeing Egypt, they left their schmutz behind. They had to. We don't, but perhaps we should. If we only had a few minutes to get out of the house, what would we grab? What would not matter? Interesting to ponder the chometz that lives in our homes and in our lives, regardless of the time of year. And not necessarily stuff. This festival of freedom invites us to rid ourselves of anything and everything and anyone who keeps us captive. Perhaps you've already cleaned out the chometz from your home or will do so tomorrow morning. Perhaps you have already begun to prepare family favorite dishes for a Seder tomorrow evening. Perhaps you are joining our Zoom Seder with your own Seder plate ready to go. However you honor Pesach this year, know that your celebration will shine brightly amidst all of the Seders all over the world. That Passover is a time of hope and redemption, of dancing and singing, of memory and future, all bound up in our collective history, imagination, and dreams. May you have a beautiful and peaceful Pesach, this 5781. Chag Pesach Sameach. Our service continues with the Elenu found on page 282. We customarily rise as the ark doors are open. Elenu leshabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kagoye haratzot, velo samanu kamishpachot adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegorelenu kechol amonam. Vanachnu kurim umishtahavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech Remain standing for Kaddish. Kaddish screen. And we observe those whose names are listed. And those whose and we recall those whose names are not listed, but who are in our hearts and minds this evening. And let us join together in the Kaddish prayer. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah. V'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael. Ba'gala v'zman kariv v'meru. Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam olalmei almaya. Yit barach v'yishtabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit romam v'yit naseh. V'yit adar v'yit alei v'yit halal shemei dekudesha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya. V'chayim Elenu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Osei shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, Elenu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru. Amen. May the great name of God be exalted and sanctified throughout the world, which God has created according to God's will. And now we turn to Eileen for a reading.
Remember to remember. Remember to remember you. You are the key ingredient to your joyous Pesach. Remember to welcome you and to allow yourself to be welcomed. Remember to tell your piece of our story. Remember to embrace the fullness of your life. Remember to expand your joy. And remember to prepare to move into openness, no matter how open you currently may be. Remember to remember your openness. Remember to remember you.
Thank you to our Shabbat participants this evening, Jan and Sherry and Eileen. Thank you to Sarah for running our text. Sarah is off on a 3-month adventure to New York, but we hope she will be back with us later in the summer. Some announcements. Tomorrow morning is Hebrew. There is still room around the Zoom Seder table. So if you are just now realizing and thinking, uh-oh, what will I do for Seder? Please just email me and I will send you all the information you need, including the Haggadah to print. And you may join us. We will happily welcome you tomorrow evening at 5:30. Those of you who love to sing, we are organizing a little once a month Zoom singing opportunity to learn some new songs, which will eventually become part of our service. So please let me know if that interests you. As always, lots of things going on. Check the newsletter. Our next service in April, the second Friday, will be musical music. We will have Julie Ivanhoe will be joining us musically. And then the fourth Friday will be a special guest, Rabbi Larry Carroll, singer-songwriter. More information coming in the newsletter. So let me wish you all a happy Pesach, and let us conclude with this melody. The words in English are, "My house shall be called a house of prayer for all peoples." I hope your home feels as sacred and holy and special as though it were a house of prayer, because indeed it is. Ki beiti beit tefillah, ki beiti beit tefillah. Ki beiti beit tefillah, Shabbat Shalom.